It's premiere event day, guys, and welcome back to MST.TV. And today is the locals versus, and we're gonna go to locals. We're gonna crack some packs of Supreme Darkness. This is that early box that Konami gave me. So we are going to play two events. Like my locals are something different. Like they go for like a back-to-back tournament. They have a 12 o'clock and a 3 o'clock, and they're just like locals, 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. So if you want to grind out like 8 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh in one day, well, that could be like a weekly thing if you like Yu-Gi-Oh that much. But anyways, I got 2 decks on me, and hopefully it's gonna be good. I'm gonna crack some packs. I'm gonna watch the locals crack some packs. Let's go. Thank you. Let's go. What's going on? Cam, haven't seen you in like forever.
Are you recording it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are?
You already pulled? You already pulled? Oh, let's see. What you got? What'd you get?
I got these 2.
Okay.
Not that bad.
That's okay.
What I got?
Oh.
Party QCR. It's so cool.
That's our second QCI in the set.
I'm 2 for 2.
2 for 2. 2 boxes?
In 2 boxes, which is crazy. I might go in again.
Hey,
keep the luck going.
Konami sponsored. How dare you? How dare you get this?
How dare I be a sack?
Cam? Oh, hey, I can see your card.
2 boxes. I got.
You got the money card.
I got.
It's about you.
I got a lot of heroes.
You wanted them though.
Yeah. But they're not QCR, unfortunately.
And you got the LZ.
Yeah.
Oh, and Barrel.
Barrel. So the
Barrel's
boxes are pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Time for me to go do a pack battle. I'm first. 5 packs. 5 pack magic. Oh, didn't get a QCR. Light Force. Christian Cluster. Oh, that's nice. Huh. Evil Assault. Okay, we'll move on. Bam! Dark Necromancer. Next one. Oh my god, am I gonna get 5 supers? Not, okay, still, I was gonna say not today, but I'm still dying.
Not today.
Not today. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose this pack battle to you.
Easy peasy.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Easy peasy. Card pack squeezy.
5 super. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, let's see if you can please get something. All right, if the polls are not good, it's Nishi's fault. He sacked the box.
Sounds
It was
like
a targeted attack.
Yeah.
Getting it before you.
Go for it. We're just recording. We're just recording. Let's go.
I want it
Oh, your nails. They're in the way.
I was already bad at opening packs. Now it's just a hazard. I'm gonna damage one of these one day.
It better not be worth damaging your nails. Your nails are more expensive than the card. It's an Argo Star. Slayer Etio. Oh my god, the super train continues.
The box is live.
Or the box is super dead.
That's true.
No, it's super live, but other people have been buying from it already. Oh, you got one. Here's a secret.
Winning feels good.
Nishi got the QCR Evil Hero. That's not fair. Yeah, exactly. He's killing us. Let's see what you get. Double secret. If they shuffle the packs, then that's possible. If they don't shuffle the packs, that's not possible.
Is there a good ultra? What is the ultra? That's the dream.
Good ultra? Yeah, Barrel Dragon.
Yeah, that's the best.
Mitsurugi Ritual is also good. Mitsurugi Ritual Monster is also good. All right, final pack. Can you get the?
Feelings about ritual.
Let's do it. Get an ultra. Oh, you hit so. Oh, that is one of the money ultra.
Wow, you got.
Yay!
Yeah, I got destroyed again.
That's probably like the worst feeling.
You already got one secret right here.
Not the one I want, alright?
Oh, got that Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon.
Wow, what a good box.
Damn.
What are you buying?
I don't know yet.
What are you selling?
Every guy.
What?
Beautiful card, right?
Whoa, that's not pointing anywhere. Whoa! You pulled them all Charmy? How many packs left?
A lot. There's still half.
Oh my god. Oh, you went left, right.
But then there's I already pulled the 2 secrets. So
Okay, you got the promo secret and you also got the meows.
it's not really that worth to throw Ash, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not too. You're 2 for 1ing now.
不是说要分一盒吗？怎么？
Oh!
I want to twin.
Oh, that's a super, right? Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Here, bam. Okay, the other side.
QC 呢？
Oh!
阿 Ghost。
It's actually not bad. Quick effect, negate a monster.
Oh, let's go!
LZ, another crazy pull at locals. Sponsored by Konami. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, this is not getting shown to the public. It's time to duel. Check out MST.TV here at Local. So for round 1, we have Tombox versus Marvin. I'm on the left side and Marvin's on the right side. I'm on the blue side for the rest of the duration of playing Mitsurugi Ryzeal versus Fiendsmith Ryzeal. Every matchup is going to have some, actually not every matchup is Ryzeal, but it has Fiendsmith or Ryzeal involved. But I'm only going to really commentate one game. The other games are going to be game summaries, as the action will be cut down action to action, just so that you can condense the entire match down to 5 minutes. It can be done. But since I did win the dialogue, we're going to start off with X Ryzeal effect. We're going to send the Eclipse Twins to the graveyard, adding Node Ryzeal. That means we have Sword Ryzeal in hand. We're going to summon that out, and we're going to add Ice Ryzeal into our hand through Sword Ryzeal. We're going to overlay 2 monsters into King of the Feral Imps. Through King of the Feral Imps effect, we're going to detach to add, but Marvin has something to say about that. That's going to be met with an Ash Blossom. No, you're not getting that search. Normal summon the Ice Ryzeal, get the X Ryzeal on the field, and summon out the dual drive effect to attach, but he decides to throw the rock at me. So yeah, no, I have nothing to actually stop this, but is this the end of my plays? I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, you know what, this doesn't actually look that bad. So the true power of Mitsurugi starts to happen right now. So I get a giant-ass rock on my side of the field, and we're going to activate the prayers to add the monster, the ritual monster, and then we're going to play ritual right away. So both spells were already in hand, and guess what? That means that we get to dump cards out of the deck as tributes, and we're going to dump Night Sword Serpent and Kusanagi. Kusanagi to get the ritual back. We're going to replay that ritual. Replaying the ritual is one of the nastiest things you can do, because we're going to send Ame into the graveyard, and that's going to summon a Futsu. And because we tributed the Ame is going to give us a search of the Purification, and we're going to summon back the Ame summon. This is a Raigeki. We're going to nuke the board. Now we're going to summon out our Node Ryzeal that was added hand, summon back the X Ryzeal, just sending away the Futsu, and now we get to reattach the Eclipse Twin. So we have Detonator, Ame, and we have the Omni Negate of Great Purification in the back row. So yeah, after eating 2 hand trap, not too bad, but Marvin's going to start off with, going with Bystial Lubellium. I'm going to make him pay additional discard with that, and then he's going to follow up with Triple Tactics Talent. And no, Purification is going to say no to that. We're going to make sure that the hand economy isn't going to do so well, and as he tries to Druid Worm his way up, because he did get that search from Lubellion, we're going to meet that with a Ghost Bell. So that's going to be fully negated so far. I still have my Detonator still live, so it's going to make it pretty difficult for Marvin to kind of play through this. So continuing on his plays, he's gonna go into his Fiendsmith line, Fiendsmith into Requiem into Lockerman not using the effect, because if Lockerman uses the effect, I am going to destroy it with the Detonator. However, it's gonna turn into a Typhon. Typhon is going to send away my monster, but because I had Eclipse Twins resummons back my duo drive with the King of the Firmament attached. Now at the start of my turn, I'm going to attempt to summon back my Lizard, which is Futsu. However, the Druid Storm now comes in and banishes my monster. Now I'm going to go into battle phase and destroy the Typhon by battle with the token, and I'm going to try to continue play. Now they're going to go into the Abyss Dweller main phase 2. The reason why we're doing this is because while Typhon's on board, both Detonator and the Ame can't use their effects, so that's a very, very big limitation. But now that the Dweller is live, if we summon out the Ame from the deck, that's going to allow us to tribute the current Ame, and then we're going to resummon the Ame, so we have double Ame. Of course, we only can use one of the effects, but then we're going to get rid of that Druid Swarm. And Marvin's going to end the whole game on his own terms by punching in his effect that he just top decked. Moving on to game number 2. So I took game 1 right there. He's going to start with a Sword Ryzeal. You guys know Sword Ryzeal on normal summon means not a very good hand, but I'm hoping that that not very good hand does not mean that there's Ash, but it's going to Call by the Grave, but it's met with... Yeah, Call by the Grave. Well, Call by the Grave loses to Ghost Bell, and that means he's playing under Max C now. Oh,
And we know that maxi minigame, I won that one here, so playing into Fiendsmith, playing into Ryzeal doesn't look too good. It's going to send the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard and summon out a Detonator. We're going to provide me with one draw. It's not going to go any further. However, because Eclipse Twin doesn't have anything else in the graveyard, so I'm going to go with XX with the Mirror Logic Aggregator. We're going to force the negate. He's going to blow up his own Detonator, and then as he attempts to use the effect, we're like, hey, hold on a second. You don't have another Exceeds material to attach to your Detonator because Eclipse Twins cannot attach itself. There's a lesson to be learned here. The good play that he did was the Typhon play. The odd play here is that I guess these cards are very new. I mean, this is the day one of playability for us. So since he has no hand traps, I'm just going to build my entire board. Here we have King of the Feral Imps, Saji, Futsu, and Ame. Well, the damage speaks for itself. 23, 12, 2032, and that's going to be game number 2. I take game number 2, and now we're going to go into round 2 with Tommy. And this is going to be Scareclaw Fiendsmith versus Tom Box's same deck. I didn't change. He's got to start off with his classic opening of Fiendsmith track with the... It's going to be met with the Molcharmi Fuelos. Fuelos is going to be successful, so I'm going to be drawing a lot of cards here. Did not go contested with that. As he builds his board, Tommy's like, I'm not afraid. As long as I can build my board, I'll be fine. Little did he know, I play a ton of hand traps in this build. Or if you guys like seen my video, you guys can check out my build. Well, I guess it'll be in the description. All right. So as he tries to bring back his Fiendsmith Engraver, that's going to be met with a Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is actually really good this far. Puts in a lot of work. I'd consider I am main decking it, but I consider you guys should try it out too. But he's going to continue with the Scareclaw line, going to Trasukta, summon back the Meek. Meek is now going to synchro summon with the Trasukta into Visas Amitara. And Itara is going to go into the graveyard. I think he's going to continue to link summon into Lightheart, and then we're still under Fuelos. Fuelos is going to provide me with the draw for the Lightheart, and he's getting that search for the Field Spell. Field Spell gets out Visas Starfrost. Visas Starfrost is going to destroy the Lightheart. Lightheart gets destroyed. Starfrost summon. And Lightheart gets summoned back onto the field. Lots of graveyard summons. Activate the Scareclaw arrival that was earned from the earlier summon of Scareclaw. I think that's Reichhart. Reichhart now going into Chaos Angel. He's going to banish away his own monster, realizing that, hey, there's a liability here. That's a straight gateway to my life points. It's a Trojan horse virus, and I don't want to get damage from that. Well, I'm going to start with a Bonfire into Ice Ryzeal. I wonder if he has any hand trap to interact with me at this particular point, because if he doesn't, I'm going to go all in here. But I got to find a creative way, because Chaos Angel in defense mode that's light and dark is very hard to break. Not a lot of decks can break that. So, we're going to start off with King of the Feral Imps. King of the Feral Imps is going to be successful on the resolution. Yes, we are going to be able to add Ame into our hand. We just received our packs here. By the way, I pulled I think an Ultimate Low from one of my packs. I think that was from this pack. What we just received here. We're going to play the the Ritual, Mitsurugi Ritual, and we're going to start sending materials from the deck, and that's going to get us the Black Sword Serpent, Night Sword Serpent, whatever the name is. That's going to be now eventually overlaid into the Eclipse Twins. I did that on purpose, guys, because I want to keep the card in the graveyard because I play Haggard Lizardoids. And I haven't actually summoned out a Ryzeal from my hand via a special summon, so I'm not locked out yet. So we're going to go into Haggard Lizardoids. Haggard Lizardoids is going to banish the Night Sword Serpent, making the Necrocrypt Princess into 500 attack. And now we're just going to funnel all the damage through her to hopefully gain enough for lethal. So that was the plan anyway, and based on the actions here, dual drive attach, we're going to get a little bit of attack boost. We're going to detach 2 so that we can still attempt to try to make a detonator so we can get Node and the Cross. This now further insulates us from hand traps, and we're going to send away the Purification into the graveyard, and we're going to punch, and 500 left, and we're going to punch with Futsu, and that's going to take it for game. Very, very clever use of the Haggard Lizardoids. It's not just so that you can get rid of Nib, but if you're in a position where your opponent's monster cannot be destroyed by battle, you can definitely use that as a way to kind of clear out boards, or maybe just win games. Like, if you're a Chimera player, for sure, this is something that was already in your arsenal. But we're going to start off with Fiendsmith tracked into the Lurie. However, before you do the Lurie, we're going to activate Molcharmi Meows, so that every single time we summon from the graveyard, I'm going to be able to draw a card. And you're going to notice that, hey, wait a minute, you're actually not drawing that many cards. Okay, we go into the Fiendsmith Engraver. So far, I only drew a card for the Lurie, so we evened out. And we are seeing the equip of the Requiem. Requiem going to send away everything to contact fuse into the Necro Princess, and we're going to now try to summon out the Engraver. I have nothing to stop this Engraver this time, so it's successful. I do get to draw a card. I want you to summon as much as you can. Going for the overlay to DDD Wave Hiking Caesar, summon out the Ryzeal into the Arrivals into hand, into Lightheart summoned out. But hold on a second, the second half of this combo is going to require a lot of graveyard summoning, activating the Rectophobia to add the Visa Starfrost. Visa Starfrost activate in hand, destroying the Lightheart. We're going to summon out the Visa Starfrost, giving him the Light Tuner, and Lightheart can technically summon himself back. But we're going to start off instead with the Arrivals. Okay, and now that's going to be met with a second Molcharmy Meows. Now that's a Pot of Greed. Get to draw 2 cards for it. Now this is too much. And that Lightheart is definitely not worth summoning now. So he's going to perform a Synchro Summon into a 10 into a Chenying and activate Triple Tactics Thrust. I'm like, oh my god, he's going to lock me out from Xyz. But instead, he's going to go for the Daruma Karmakan. I mean, if he just shut down the Rituals, it would have hurt a lot too. But starting with my turn, he's got a lot going for him, and he actually demonstrates some pretty cool play here, so I want to highlight that. We're going to start with the X negating the DD Wave Hiking Caesar as the initial play here. And so, as he tries to bring back the Requiem, that's going to be met with Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell and the Molcharmy is putting so much work for me so far into this tournament, and we are successful with the Mitsurugi Ritual. We're going to be able to send 2 cards. I sided out the Night Sword Serpent, so I'm going to be sending Saji and the Kusanagi. Kusanagi is going to be able to add the Prayers into my hand, and I also got the Ritual added back as well, so I have both copies now. Now I do attempt to destroy the entire field with Ame's nuking effect, and that's going to result in me losing my X-Ryzeal and also losing my Meteorologic Aggregator. And this is actually very important. Losing that Meteorologic Aggregator has completely 180'd my entire field. Okay, this is super dangerous, and I totally messed up here because he has the Daruma Karmakan as I continue trying to push for game. Everything gets face down. And because I lost both Ryzeal name and the only Xyz I have, I ran into a lot of trouble. This is actually very, very problematic now. I don't know what I'm doing here. I am very much stuck. So I tribute off my reptile monster for the prayers. I'm choosing not to summon from the grave. I'm just going to open up a slot, so I went for the adding effect, and I realized I can't actually do anything after checking the grave, so I have to pass by giving the Chenying back to my opponent. Not feeling too good about that. However, we're going to keep on trying. We're going to play another copies of prayers, and we're going to add a copy of Futsu into hand, and we're going to summon it back, our monster from the graveyard, so it's going to cost me 800 life points. So at the 800 life points, okay, so because we did tribute on Ame's going to nuke away the Chenying into the grave, still face down, and because the Rectophobia has 3 defense mode monster, it's going to clear out the other copy of prayers that I've set. I've just been loading my hand with players, okay? I just been going for it because I took out the other trap card because I was going second. And so he's going to continue doing his Fiendsmith line. I did make him tax him a little bit, so he lost his Druid Swarm along the way. Now, all my cards are mostly face down. I wonder how he's going to push through. However, because this is technically a Scareclaw deck, and there is Visa Starfrost and Ryzeal in the graveyard, which means there's going to be another Visa's monster that's the fusion that can come out. But so far, we're going to be sending away some cards here, and that's going to be, he's going to be sending away with Requiems and my Ice Ryzeal through the effect of the Engraver, and there it is, the fusion's coming out. Visas. The Visa's Fusion. That's going to destroy a card on summon, and it's going to punch over my monster. And that's it. Well, I actually still have not taken any damage except from myself. So, continuing on, he's going to Fiendsmith Sequence because he did keep his Engraver, and he has the Engraver, the Requiem, and the other Engraver. By putting away that Requiem means that I don't have to worry about my cards being sent away. Not to mention that the card that's going to send me away is already gone. It's going to be this Desiree. Desiree, does he have the Agnum Day to continue on? No, he does not. He's going to straight up just equip the Fiendsmith Sequence, and he's going to pass turn back to me. But I did have a ton of cards. Don't forget, at the end of the day, I still have a ton of cards coming to Molcharmies. So, we're going to start off our play with sending a Twins into the graveyard. and we are gonna push our board right through. So starting off with Detonator, when I go into Detonator, he tried to negate my Detonator. Well, that's gonna be met with sending the card into the graveyard. I wasn't sure if that was actually such a good idea, but I'd rather have my effects available. But at the end of the day, I ended up destroying his monster with the nuke, and he sent away my Detonator. Here, I'm gonna continue to play. So my way to push through the damage here is I'm gonna go into Dugaris, doubling the attack of my monster, so that I can just do a ton of damage and attacks per game. And that's GG. Here we have Mitsurugi Ryzeal versus Primite Harpy Ryzeal. I'm on the left, Jim's on the right. Jim is actually one of our previous regional winners, and he's been cooking up this list for a while now, and he shared everything. That's like that early list I didn't show you guys. So I start off my turn. I won the die roll. I'm going to start with the Bonfire. Bonfire is going to get myself a nice little search of an Ice Ryzeal. You can also search an X Ryzeal if needed. With the Ice Ryzeal, we're going to start with the normal summon of Ice Ryzeal. I have a habit of always summoning on the left side of the field first, just to keep my zones open. I need to kind of readjust that habit from time to time, but here we go. We're going to be special summoning from the deck through the effect of Ice Ryzeal. There's going to be a Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal effect, get the X Ryzeal into hand. Special summon up the X Ryzeal right away by sending into the graveyard Eclipse Twins. No, it's a Mirror Logic Aggregator. We want that negation. We're going to activate the effect of the X Ryzeal, adding a Node Ryzeal into hand. I didn't really commentate over the previous season, especially at the end when I ran out of vacation days. So here we go. We're going to proceed to Xyz Summon using Sword and Ice into our King of the Feral Imps. King of the Feral Imps detaches for the effect to search. Now, it seems like I may have already gotten the Ritual Monster in hand, so this might push for a Saji to be added to hand. But if Saji gets added to hand, there needs to be some maneuver to generate the additional summon, as we've already burned the normal summon through the ice, so the additional summon has to come from Dugaris. That's one of the more available lines for me. But that means I have to kind of control my field to the point where I don't know if I'm going to end with a Detonator, because Detonator does require 2 Ryzeal monsters to act as its Xyz material. So this is where I'm contemplating where I'm going to push my action. So special summon out Node Ryzeal. We're going to use Node Ryzeal's effect to send the Mitsurugi Saji into the graveyard. And we're going to overlay into Duo Drive. Duo Drive's effect, we're going to detach from Duo Drive itself and the King of the Feral Imps to provide me with 2 cards. The Ryzeal Cross to insulate myself from further disruption from hand, mainly just monster disruption. And we get to add ourselves another monster, probably an Ice Ryzeal, because Ice Ryzeal can also send a card to the graveyard, so that might work out later on in case we need to pivot from certain interactions. But just as a little bit of a spoiler alert, Jim's deck does not actually run any hand traps. He actually managed to get his invite through not playing a single hand trap. We're going for the activation of the Ryzeal Cross now, and we are going to send that to the graveyard for the summon of Ice Ryzeal. That's a special summon of Ice Ryzeal. And we're going to take the 2 Ice Ryzeals, and we're going to overlay the 2 into Dugaris, number 60, the Timeless. We're going to detach, and we're going to attempt to summon back onto the field the Saji. That should be summoned in defense position, okay? So that is something that can be adjusted later on, but I don't think it will matter if that monster does get used as material. So now we get access through the summon of Saji, the Ritual spell, Mitsurugi Ritual, activate the Ritual. We already have Ame in hand, so Ame Murakumo is gonna be able to dump away some stuff here. Now that dice on the field, that die on the field is a reminder for both players that, hey, main phase 1 does not exist for Tombox in the future. Sending to the graveyard for the tributes from the deck, we have Night Sword Serpent and also the Mitsurugi, the Mikoto Kusanagi, and the Night Sword Serpent will now activate. We're gonna get back our copy of the Ritual, and we are gonna summon out onto the field the Night Sword Serpent. And as we overlay here and build the overlay network, Xyz summon into nothing's better than actually the Abyss Dweller. To be honest, the Abyss Dweller with the Water Night Sword Serpent, putting it to 22, perhaps even 23, because we also have the Duo Drive. This is incredible already. So The reason why you build something like this is so that now it synergizes really well with the Ame. Whenever Ame special summons itself onto the field, you get to Raigeki your opponent through its own effect, and nothing feels better than a stunned out graveyard Raigeki. Really, those resources do not come back. They're just gone. So we just activated the ritual spell again to summon a Futsu from the deck, tributing the Ame, because Ame got tributed. These rituals, whenever they are tributed, they come back as long as they were summoned properly like once, and now they're going to come back for the second coming, and they bring along with them a Mitsurugi card, which is ridiculous. So we're going to summon out our Ame, and then we also have Futsu. Futsu, whenever your opponent special summons, you get to chain. It's once per chain, you get to summon another reptile from your graveyard. And not being once per turn, this card works extremely well with Ogdodix. And actually, we play the prayer. We play the prayer so that we can get ourselves a copy of the Saji. Are we using the summoning effect? Okay, yeah, I paid the life ones. I called the thing. We're fixing the game state. Yeah, we got the pieces. So yeah, so when we play the prayers, we're supposed to add a monster, but we forgot to do it entirely. So like, okay, hold on a second, something's not right. I mean, and we built the board. We get the twins. So twins on the draw phase, we're gonna activate our Abyss Dweller. Jim and I are pretty close friends, so we're like, yeah, don't worry, it's like new cards, do your thing, you know, let yourself kind of fix yourself. Jim is a very, very fun guy to play against. Very strong player. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to execute at this particular point. But you're going to see some really wild techs on Jimmy's side. I've seen his deck list. He's shown me the deck list. I censored his deck list earlier, and he's contemplating on how to break my current field. So at our recent regionals, there were 3 players. I think there was like 3 players that played Harpy Ryzeal, and all of them top. One of them was top 3 or top 4. They did get the deck box, and the other 2, I think one was top 8, one was top 16. So they all got their invites, and some of them were top 8. So it's really powerful. Starting with the X Ryzeal, attempting to get that search, sending the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard as a part of its summoning method. Now we're contemplating, do I want to tax him on this? Do I want to summon my guys from the graveyard? There's a lot to contemplate because you do chain on top, and that's going to be like a point of ruling that needs to be addressed in the near future. I know a lot of people are going to mess it up. Like Ryzeal Cross is already annoying enough, but now you also have Ame that kind of tags along and might accidentally make people kind of second guess themselves. But anyways, the effect goes through for X on Jimmy's side. I'm just going to call you Jimmy for now. I know you're just Jim, but I'm calling you Jimmy for now. And so that's going to add Node Ryzeal, giving him the follow-up perhaps into his own copy of Detonator. But keep in mind that Abyss Dweller is currently live, so anything that's Fiendsmith related, not going to go through. And we are going to see the special summon of our Sword Ryzeal. Now, I'm contemplating, reading the Futsu, maybe I'm going to summon back my Saji, maybe I'm going to get myself another card. Or do I just stop this in its tracks? Because if he just gets the additional monster, this is going to prove to be very difficult to handle. So we're going to activate Purification. Purification, we're going to tribute away our Ame. So this play is going to lead to all of Jimmy's monsters being destroyed. So it does negate the effect and destroy the card. Okay, that's good. But since Ame was tributed, we're waiting on that next chain here. Ame effect, summon itself back, but before we do, we have to add a card in your hand. If you don't add a card, I don't think you can even summon Ame back, to be honest, because I think that's a secondary effect, but we're going to have to read the card to figure that out. Now, Ame gets summoned onto the field, and that's going to activate the Raigeki, and that's going to destroy the remaining monsters on Jimmy's side of the field. He's going to follow up with a Triple Tactics Thrust. This is so dangerous. This is going to give an opportunity to add basically any of his normal Speller Traps into hand. And if you're a Harpy player, guess which is the best card you can add into your hand. You guys can take a guess. It's definitely not Feather Duster. I have no back row. He's contemplating how to break this field. This whole game state is going to be pretty wild. All right, Jimmy, which one are you going to go for? You have your entire deck Spell and Trap lineup at the palm of your hands. It's on your fingertips. Which one are you going for? Also, I just noticed that he's using DUEL sleeves. Really cool. And oversleeves, which you can get at MSTmerch.com. Okay. So just keep in mind that Ame works for all card effects. And I don't think I've taxed him yet. It's the taxing effect. It's the tax man. That guy is part of the IRS. No, Jimmy actually taking some time to combat. It didn't actually feel like he took that long, but it seems like he has the card in hand. He's ready to go for it. Just drop it, man. Just drop it. He's looking at his hand, doing a little bit of math. He's taking it. It's Harpy's Featherstorm. So you might be wondering, how is he going to activate that card? Well, what's with the Harpy Featherstorm? Is he going to go into Castell and set it and, you know? No, he's not going to do that. He's going to do something way worse. Normal summon a Harpy Lady. And you realize that once he's normal summon a Harpy Lady, there's not much I can actually do against that. He's going to activate the best trap card ever. He's going to throw away the card. There's not much I can actually follow up on that. My entire board and hand, every monster I own right now will have its effects negated thanks to this particular play. He's locked out of the graveyard. I'm locked out of every other monster effect. However, I still have access to the Ryzeal Cross. That's my one last negation available to keep me in this game. Otherwise, it's GG. Now, he still has his node Ryzeal. He can still push. He can still make more cards available. I'm just wondering where he's going to push this board into. Every single monster and hand trap negated. And it's actually quite like a skilled thing to do, you know, taking advantage of a really, really slow card, but because you can just play Harpies and they're just level 4 and you can just summon them out like with like Lordly Load. You can summon it out with Primite Roar. The crazy part about this is that they always win on the chain interaction where they chain Harpy's Featherstorm from hand, because as long as you control a Harpy monster, you can summon out or you can activate the Harpy's Featherstorm from hand, and that wins you basically any interaction with hand traps. You shut down the remaining hand traps. It's like a trap stun, except that it's a monster stun, and they get to build board. Going first, don't have to worry about any of your hand traps. Going second, I could skip your whole turn. It's a crazy thing. I'm looking forward to trying it out. He gave me his list, though. I might feature it in the future. If you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe, and ding that notification button if you want to see it. And he goes into Exciting Night, and this is an exciting night. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to negate it because I'm going to try to. And you can burn all your material, but you're once per chain, so you can activate again. And my entire board goes up in flames. Well, it seems like I just got Raigeki. This is the equivalent of getting hit by Abyss Dweller Raigeki. He essentially did it his own way, and he nuked my entire field. But he has the pass turn because with Exciting Night, no battle damage or any further damage cannot be done for the rest of the turn. And also the graveyard's also shut out, so there's no point in going to Fiendsmith line. Not even sure if he does even play any Fiendsmith, but attack, no, there's nothing that's going to happen here. He's passing turn. Unfortunately, that's where his plays ends, and I have 5 cards in hand, drawing into 6. However, remember, I used the Garrus. Main phase 1, battle phase, end battle phase, skip battle phase, and we are moving on. That's why that die is still on the table. And I'm just going to activate the Mitsurugi Prayers. I am going to tribute away one of my Mitsurugis from my hand. And that's going to add into my hand the Ame. And I can also choose to summon out. So when I choose to summon out, I will take another 800 damage for that summoning. It summons from hand and graveyard. That's like pretty wild. You can even summon back some of your... I believe you can summon back some of your Mitsurugis that were summoned out properly, like the rituals. So, moving on. He doesn't have a Fiendsmith line in the graveyard. He doesn't exactly have much. I have to answer this, but it's like trying to destroy something without a battle phase. Not the easiest thing. If he doesn't activate anything, the detonator can't blow it up either. So that thing's kind of just being like Neo from the Matrix, dodging every bullet he can by just not moving at all. All right, Jimmy. What are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? I have a handful of cards, but doesn't seem like I have a ton of options. We're going to special summon out Sword Ryzeal effect. That's gonna lead into an X Ryzeal. No, Ice Ryzeal. Ice Ryzeal? Yeah, we're just confirming. Yeah, there is no battle phase right now. Don't worry about it. Yeah, just a little game state confirmation. It happens from time to time. So we're getting ourselves an Ice Ryzeal. So we have our normal summon still available. And having normal summon with Ice Ryzeal feels very, very good. Overlay the 2 monsters. There's King of the Feral Imps. There's probably a second copy of Duo Drive if necessary. Man, it didn't seem like I thought that long about this play, man. Tombox, speed it up. You're only trying to perform an Xyz summon. It's not that difficult. Go into Exciting Knight and just blow up his field. Yeah, it seems like you look at the extra deck and you realize, hey, there's actually not that many options to actually destroy something without going to battle. So that part is like, wow, this is not looking too great. I mean, technically, you can go to Typhon, right? You can go to Typhon. So now I have to remap the play because knowing that there's no battle phase, you have to remap it a little bit so that you get yourself the proper amount of summons. So you know what? Let's go. Let's go with Twins of the Eclipse because that's one card that's always going to be good, and we can definitely just throw it into the graveyard. If we throw it into the graveyard, we revive ourselves with Dweller, and we don't have to worry about too many problems. We're going to activate the Purification from the graveyard, and so we're going to summon out our Ame, and we are going to tribute away our Eclipse Twins. So that's the whole purpose of that particular line. It was just something that was really out of the way. But that did lead into an Ame being summoned, and that's going to be the Raigeki. So Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, we're going to go with the Eclipse Twins, and that's going to summon back the Abyss Dweller. And oh, am I waiting to do the ritual a separate time? No, we're doing it. We're doing it right away. We're doing it right away. We're nuking the board. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't forget about that. Okay, now we perform a normal summon of Ice Ryzeal. Now we're building the board. And we're trying to lock Jimmy out from ever obtaining victory in this match. Or at least this game. Jimmy's a nice guy. He can have one game. But just one. Alright, we're going to the detonator. Detonator attaches the twins. I'm not sure if Jimmy has enough to actually recover from this. Because once you get into a simplified game state with Ame, it's going to be difficult. And we're going to go for the regular ritual summon of Ame. Now, the first Ame was summoned back through Purification. This time, Ame is going to be summoned back through its own effect by me using the Mitsurugi Ritual, and we're going to use that to get a copy of Prayers into our hand. And now we have Dweller and the Nuke. This makes it almost impossible to play. Since there's no battle, we're passing the turn back to Jimmy. And we're going to immediately activate the Dweller. I mean, he can have Triple Tactics, Thrust, Talons. It doesn't really matter because he's going to pack it up on this one. He's scooping this one, so game number 1 goes to me. Essentially full comboing. I mean, it's a bit of a risky build when you choose not to play any disruption. But if it works out for him and he can go blind second, I don't see why not. Like, Harpy's Featherstorm is a very devastating card. Now we're going to round 3, game number 2, where Jimmy gets to start. I mean, this is a pretty wild game. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. So if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys want to see more Locals versus Tombox. Although it's not just going to be about me in the future. I'm going to see if I can capture someone else's journey because why not? There's some pretty fun players and some pretty talented, some pretty wild decks that I would love to just go to Locals and follow them around. If you guys are interested, you guys can check out my Locals at Treasure Chest. Treasure Chest is the Locals I go to. You can find me there on Saturday if you want to find me. I'm just kidding. I'm not always there. Or I'm always there. Who knows? But he's going to start off with Primite Lordly Load. He's going to be adding the Primite Another Barrel Dragon. Or sorry, is it Barrel Ether Dragon? I think it's Ether Dragon now. I'm just trying to figure out like the restrictions of Lordly Load because I actually haven't played the card, much less read the card. And so I'm like, when do we actually establish that restriction? For a second, I thought the screen just froze, but it's just Jimmy's very still. Okay, so he successfully adds the Barrel Dragon into hand. He's going to choose to play Bonfire. Bonfire is ignited. Ignited, that's going to add the Ice Ryzeal. What does Ice Ryzeal have anything to do with fire? It's the internal combustion engine. At least that's what the internet has told me. And that's going to summon out Barrel Dragon, Ether Barrel, the misprinted card. I'm saying it's misprinted because the card's supposedly mistranslated. It could lead to an early OTS printing to fix it. It could be an OTS ulti so that, you know, it doesn't really devalue the existing one. I think that would be the appropriate move. Just make it as an OTS ulti so that the current value of the card stays the same. Or you can give access to the card to everyone by making it a super. Or you can just immediately reprint it in Maze. Is it Maze? Yeah, Maze. The next Maze set. Maze of Millennium, Maze of Memories. I can't remember. Anyways, normal summon it out. No, now he goes for special summon of Ice Ryzeal, sending to the graveyard. Oh my goodness, he sent a hysteric sign. He's loading himself. He's gonna turn skip me in the future. Now overlaying his monsters into Duo Drive. Now, one thing about Lordly Blood is very dangerous. Okay, upon the activation, we're going to negate the effect of the Duo Drive when he tries to get the double search. So Infinite Impermanence has successfully negated the Duo Drive. Jimmy's trying to work around his board as much as he can. I'm trying to play as many hand traps as possible to kind of stun out the board before it gets out of control, because knowing that if he can get access to a Harpy lady, the Harpy's Featherstorm is going to kick in, and essentially I won't have a turn to play. So we're going to special summon X Ryzeal. That's going to send the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard. The effect of X Ryzeal is going to activate now, adding Sword Ryzeal into hand. We're going to special summon out the Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal is going to search for Ice Ryzeal. Oh boy. So ideally, you wouldn't use that Lordly Load until later on in your play, because if you activate Lordly Load, you cannot activate the monsters that are summoned onto the field. So we're going to go into the Detonator from Jimmy's side, overlaying his two Ryzeal monsters, attaching the Eclipse Twins. And now Jimmy proceeds to activate the Lordly Load effect to summon out a monster, a normal monster from the hand deck or graveyard. That's going to be met with a Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell once again putting in work, round to round putting in work. Whose hand is that in front of the camera? I think I know who it is. I'm not going to call you up. He's coaching the match. I swear. Is he coaching the match? He's explaining cards to me. So what's the set card here? Because the Barrel Dragon set a card. The card that was set was Drill Beam. He was explaining to me, hey, what is the Drill Beam? What does it do? Oh, it's essentially like a card. It negates card effects. It negates monster effects. I'm like, okay, cool. End phase. Adds Featherstorm, adds Harpy Lady. And I'm like, this is not looking good. If the turn goes back to Jimmy, I have no interaction, because he has literally the best trap card in the entire game to be used against me. And he can activate it from hand because he plays Harpy Ladies. And because he was originally going to get rid of his own Barrel Dragon so they can put it back in his hand. But instead, because he can reveal Harpy Lady, the Hysteric Sign already paid for whatever Drill Beam needs to do. And this hand is going in and out of camera. What are you doing? This is a feature match table. Okay, drew into 6 card. Was it 6 card? Yeah, 6 card Meows. I think I can just shotgun this card, to be honest. Yeah, why not? We shotgun the card because he has the Eclipse Twins that's already on the field. So if the Detonator does get answered, then we do provide us with additional draw. As we try to crack the board, we get more draws. So that's kind of the point. We're going to start off our turn with an X Ryzeal. X Ryzeal, we're going to send Mirror Logic Aggregator, see if this can bait him into destroying his own Detonator. Will it work? Will it not? See, this is kind of layered interaction. We meows him first just so that maybe we can get ourselves a chance to play. He's going to choose to destroy my monster instead of his own, which is fair. That's fine too. I lost my X Ryzeal. And his monster is now negated. So now we don't have to worry about the Ryzeal Detonator anymore. So I thought. I don't exactly have a lot of resources in hand. So now we're going to special summon out the Sword Ryzeal. X into Sword. Sword can add another copy of Ice. My current build only runs 2 Sword Ryzeal. I think I might go back to a 3rd copy now. Now that I think about it. It's just so good. And sometimes you just run into the problem where you run out of names. But regardless, here we go. We're going to normal summon out the Ice Ryzeal. Ice Ryzeal effect. Is it going to work? Activate the effect. That is going to summon out which Ryzeal? If X has already burned, then likely one of the more optimal targets can be a Node Ryzeal, since I can't search it out anymore unless I get into Duo Drive. But Duo Drive isn't going to work while the Drill Beam is still set on the field. So we're just trying to min-max here, trying to figure out, hey, what's the best course of action that we can take here? So we're going to special summon out another copy of X Ryzeal. Is Node Ryzeal already in hand? Is that what it is? Was that what's going on? Oh yeah, it is in hand. It is in hand. What am I talking about? It's already there. Okay. Proceed. To overlay. Overlay. Network has been built. From the 4 stars that are on the card to the 4 black stars that are on the card. What are you going into, Tom Box? What am I going into? Why am I referring myself into third person? I don't know. But we're going to go into King of the Feral Imps. We're going to attempt to use the effect of King of the Feral Imps. We're going to attempt to add a card into our hand. Now, Jimmy's giving it some serious thought now. And he realizes, yeah, that's absolute misplay, Tom. Tom, you are being bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! Why would you want to add a reptile right now? There's no option for you. If you're trying to push forward, you're going to get hit by a drill beam. What are you thinking, Tom? Well, I can tell you my thought process. Honestly, my thought process here is that, hey, maybe I can just special summon out Node. And I'll just use Node's effect to generate 2 additional bodies. And then I can use 1 to perhaps go into twins. And I can maybe make a little bit of a backup. So I'll special summon out Node Ryzeal. I'm like, yeah, with Node Ryzeal, I can definitely try to push through here. As long as I can ditch Saji into the graveyard and get my summon, that doesn't seem all too bad, because then once I can activate the ritual, it's good. Activates Drill Beam, reveals the Harpy Lady. I'm like, oh, it just negates it, right? No, it banishes the card too. I'm like, wait, what? I didn't read the card and now I'm getting punished? Yeah, that was an absolute misplay. That was a disaster of a play. I just have to pass turn here because I have actually nothing else to make. Eclipse Turns doesn't do anything. I don't have a detonator. I just think I'm going to lose. Well, we're going to see how Jimmy kind of follows up with his turn. Just, oh my goodness. Drill Beam. It's worth $4 for a reason. And he normal summons a Harpy Lady. Now he's going to Harpy Featherstorm me. So now I actually have no hand trap. So the only hand trap I have available, I think it was a Ghost Belt in hand. Not going to do anything, I believe. There is no response to anything because you can do everything. He's going to go for Duo Drive, Detach, get Plug. The moment he shows me the Plug and the Cross, it's game over. Plug in and Cross. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Because he activates the Cross. All you need to do is just build monsters. Yeah, that's it. GG. And that was game number 2. Now we proceed to game number 3. Man, that was a rough game. Drill Beam, scary stuff. Harpy's Featherstorm, scary stuff. But this time, I get to go first. Does Jimmy side in hand traps? We're going to find out right now. Is that going to make a difference? I sided in Solemn Strike. I have an impermanent hand. My hand looks pretty good. I am feeling pretty happy about this. However, what am I contemplating? Now, this is more of a Mitsurugi-based hand. Activating Prayers to start. Tributing out Kusanagi. And we're going to be adding Saji into hand. We're lacking the ritual spell, but we are going to special summon out the Kusanagi from the graveyard. So Kusanagi is going to add back the prayers from the graveyard. Now we're going to normal summon out the Saji. And this can lead into multiple different lines because it already opens up Duo Drive. But we are going to see... Oh, by the way, the discussion happening at hand, the time has just been like, time hasn't been called. It just said that, oh, there's 10 minutes left in the round. And like, I'm going to read every single card you have. You know that one guy at Locals that does that? I'm like, dude, come on, take it easy. But no, we're just joking. We're both just like, we're just having fun. We're just having fun here. So we got ourselves a summon of Saji. Saji has now added the Ritual. Ritual is now going to send the Night Sword Serpent and send another copy of Saji into the graveyard as a part of its tributes. And remember, this is an interesting part. The summon from hand cannot be Ash because tributing and destroying cards from the deck does not count as sending cards because they could end up being banished. It does not directly mention the graveyard. We're going to activate the Night Sword Serpent. That's going to special summon itself onto the field in defense position. When it leaves the field, it's going to get banished unless, of course, you overlay with it, convert it into a different kind of material. So from here, now Jim's going to be taxed on a card, perhaps, as he play it. Maybe we can chain Ame on top of it. And we're going to overlay our 2 Mitsurugi monsters. They have been overlaid. With the overlay network built, we're going to go into Duo Drive. Duo Drive effect. We're going to detach 2 as a part of the effect to add into our hand. Do we want the Cross? I mean, Cross is pretty good, but I thought about this one. I wanted monsters. I don't have any monsters available so far, and I've already burned my normal summon. So I need some way to keep on pushing. So Sword Ryzeal was a must. So we're going to start off perhaps with a Sword Ryzeal, special summon Sword Ryzeal. And because we have a Mitsurugi monster, we can't get that search. That's why we added the node ahead of time. There it is. There it is. There's the X added to hand. We added X into our hand. That was not X Ryzeal. X now has been added to hand, but don't forget X can't get that search while that Mitsurugi is on the board because that's not level 4. What are you going to make, Tom? We're going to go for an Abyss Dweller right away. We're going to activate Dweller just to load the name into the graveyard just so that Node Ryzeal can actually do something. To be honest, I think there could have been a better play here. Probably could have overlaid the Abyss Dweller and the Dual Drive together first. Alright, that would have been a bit better. Getting the Eclipse Twins and then reviving one of the monsters. Eventually just loading the graveyard with the correct cards. However, now we're going to go for all the special summons we have available. So we just revived the Sword Ryzeal and now we just went for the X Ryzeal summon. We're not going to get the search with the X Ryzeal because Mitsurugi Ame is still on the field. And proceeding to a triple material overlay. Are we going to go into Delteros? No, we're just going to make a Duo Drive, or sorry, not Duo Drive, Detonator with 4 material, set 3 and pass. This felt pretty comfortable. I mean, there's a Solemn Strike in the back. There is no Omni Negate, which is the biggest problem here. Lack of an Omni Negate. I think there was a failure on my part for not adding back, or rather, I couldn't add back the Ritual spell because it was used to add back Prayers. Thinking that Prayers was a bit better. However, we go into battle phase and I'm immediately met with an evenly match. So I'm going to chain the copy of Prayers and send the card into the graveyard. I don't actually have to use both effects, and I do forget about parts of it. I think I just use it to tribute off my monster, supposedly to add a monster back to hand. We're going to repair that game state later on. But since that has resolved now, my new chain's now going off with Ame. So yeah, the game state, we'll repair it in 1:30, and we'll realize like, hey, yeah, we just have to add the monster back in. But anyways, we have the Ame now going for the add of a Ritual spell, I believe. I think Ritual spell is probably better than Prayers. Prayers is actually not bad though. I think Prayers can still just immediately revive Ame in case that we need something like that, and then we can add ourselves another monster. So that's kind of what we go for. We get the Prayers, we summon back Ame, and we just ate the evenly match, which is why it's kind of nice that we didn't lose everything. We still ended with 2 cards. We still have our Raigeki, but we do have a quadruple pop from our Detonator. But we are running close on time. We just took 800 damage in the initial play. That's why I didn't take 800 damage here, because I didn't revive monster. I used Ame's own revival effect. And he's going to follow up with a triple tactics thrust. This guy and his thrust, man. Jimmy, stop thrusting into my board. And oh my god, I can see the card. He's got his eyes set on that Raigeki. His sights are on Raigeki now. He's going to Raigeki my board. Seems like these plays are just weird interactions of the same play. Now, okay, here's the point where, oh, remember to add the monster for the Mitsurugi Prayer because I didn't choose the summon, so I have to do at least one of the effects. So we're going to resolve it properly. Yeah, since you're going to have to do something. That's why I didn't take the damage in here. You only take the damage if you're going to be going for the summon backplay. So the monster I'm going to add is going to be for this, and I'm just showing, yeah, this is the Mitsurugi prayer. This is for that earlier prayer. So I have my current prayer in hand that I got from Ame's tribute, and we still have that banished one face down. There. Game state corrected. Could have been an accepted game state, maybe. I don't know. And there's that Raigeki. And he's asked, is there any protection? There is a protection. That's going to be the detonator. If you're gonna Raigeki me and you're gonna get rid of my Ame, I don't have any of my Sajis or whatnot that I can tribute off. So in other words, I'm gonna activate the effect to make you discard a card. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I'm gonna detach one to protect, and the only monster being destroyed is gonna be the Ame or Amy. Maybe we should call this card Amy from now on. Amy just got destroyed. Okay, so now we have the Mirror Logic Aggregator. Mirror Logic Aggregate, I'm going to choose to destroy my own card, because this time, unlike the game 1 with Marvin, hold on a second, we have to go back, because Dweller is still active. We activated Dweller at the very beginning of the game, and we already forgot about it, so I'm not going to get hit by the Mirror Logic Aggregator, therefore I don't actually need to change to that. I don't need to change to destroy myself. I'm going to change to destroy your monster, and we're going to work with that instead. And with the X searching the Sword Ryzeal, we're still running really low on time here, and I don't think I can actually stop Jimmy from taking it, because I did burn myself. This is the opposite of what Triff would do. Triff would have Cowboy ready to draw out the game. I, on the other hand, am not ready for that, and I took, well, 800 to the face because of my own prayers. I prayed too hard. I prayed till my knees started bleeding. Summons out the Barrel Dragon. I am going to destroy every single monster that comes out. There is no way that we give him a chance to get 2 monsters. Even Jimmy's running out of resources at this point. So, this is down to my last material, the Eclipse Twins. You can activate Primate Lordly Load. I am not destroying his Lordly Load. No, I'm destroying my own Detonator, because Detonator this way, we gotta summon back the Detonator. And we have to attach the other monster, which is going to be Duo Drive. But on the other hand, on the summon of the Detonator, we get to reattach another monster, because that's just how Detonator works. And we get ourselves the Eclipse Twins back attached through Detonator's own effect. And the Lordly Load is going to be able to successfully add a Primite card into Jimmy's hand. I think he's probably going to go for Drill Beam, to be honest. It really depends on what he has in his hand already. But he's going to go for the Drill Beam. That's going to threaten to remove my Detonator if needed, but at this point, I would probably just Detonator blow up myself if that's the case. But so far, I don't think he's activating Drill Beam. If he doesn't activate Drill Beam, I don't believe he has the rightful target for that Drill Beam. He's going to go for the Sword Ryzeal. And on the summon of Sword Ryzeal, yeah, we're just going to destroy it. If he activates it, we're destroying it. We're popping off every single possible card just so that there's no way for Jimmy to get access to a rank 4, and that's how desperate I am to stay in this game. Okay, so he still has an Ice Ryzeal, and Ice Ryzeal, like the way that he uses the Primate cards that are stuck face up is just incredible. Like, we've exchanged so many cards, and he's evened out. Yeah, we're out of time. We're out of time. But lucky for us, we're gonna actually be able to see the non-time conclusion. No, the report has gone in that I've already lost this one, I believe. But Jimmy wants to play it. He wants to see it to the end. And, you know, mad respects for you for doing so. You didn't have to do it. You could have just taken it. He goes for the Ryzeal Cross. I'm not going to give him that additional draw. He's running so low on cards. We know that the last card in his hand, or last 2 cards in his hand, one of them has to be the Ice Ryzeal. So if he sends away his card, if he goes for the summon, there's not much he can do, because there's no Detonator that he can go into. And the moment he activates Lordly Load, there's no monster he can activate anymore on the field, which limits down his play. So he summons out the Harpy Lady. Harpy Lady has been summoned out. So yeah, we just call it, hey, Jim. Yeah, Jim just won this one. So time in the round, Jim wins the match. But we're going to see it to the end. He sends away the Lordly Load to summon out the Ice Ryzeal. Yeah, he's out of gas. There's that Drill Beam that's still stuck in his hand too. and he's choosing to overlay into Baguska. And so let's see what my top deck is. Can I actually get out of this? I drew into a Ryzeal Cross. Can I get out of it? I don't know. It depends. What do I draw with the Ryzeal Cross? So technically, I can still summon cards, and I can use the prayers to summon back my cards to re-wall. And I drew into a bonfire, which would have added the X and Mirror Logic Aggregator since I didn't use it, and I can negate the Raguska and really just go for game at that point. But anyways, that's how that game went on. Now I'm 2-1, 2-1-0, and now I think I'm against Dong Luan. I'm sorry, I didn't really catch your name, but I think you wanted one of the prizes, so I'm just going with whatever I saw. So you're starting off with a bonfire. I decided to throw an ash at it. I don't know why I did that, but this is going to be one of those quick commentaries because my voice is running out. We've been commentating for at least a whole hour now, and so he's going to be building board. This is essentially going to be 2 combo tutorials going at each other. So I look at my hand. I have no other hand trap. I only had Ash, so that felt really, really bad. And I didn't know which variant of like Ryzeal he was playing at this point. So he goes into Exciton Knight. The moment he went to Exciton Knight, this is Fiendsmith. This is Fiendsmith Ryzeal all over again. It's, you know, the writing is on the wall. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get completely destroyed. So he just keeps on pushing. And this is the actual end board where he gets the Necro Equip on board. I don't know why that is there, but it still ended up pushing towards the 5 negate Desiree with the right. He also activated whatchamacallit, Magnamut, so he gets that search for the Druid Swarm. He pushed it that far, and that's how he ended up with the Desiree Detonator and Necro Equip. This is really, really rough. He kept the Necro Equip because, and 6 card is going to be Furloughs. That is great. That is great because there's definitely no way I can crack this board. So we're going to start off with a normal summon of Node. I think I have Node and Sword. So now we're going to special summon out Sword. Sword effect. Is this going to go through? I don't know if it's going to go through. And he's going to destroy my Node. That's the worst part. Node is now destroyed as well. And we're trying to attempt to go into an Exciton Knight. Exciton Knight, we're going to activate it. At least try to do something like, oh, you can try to negate me, maybe with your Desiree, maybe I can attempt to push. And he's going to go with the Detonator, Chain Detonator, but he also changed the effect failure, negating my effect and destroying my monster. That part hurt. In my hand, I have the Ritual spell and the Ritual, but the Desiree is still live, so there's no way I can activate it. So now we move on to game number 2. Game number 2 of round 4. We can keep this one pretty short because this was a really, really nice opening from my side. And also he has some really, really cool OCG sleeves. We're going to start with Bonfire. Bonfire is not met with any hand trap. We're going to go with the Ice Ryzeal. And this is the end board. He had no hand traps. We've just built everything. We have everything. We have Detonator. We have Dual Drive. We have Cross. We have both things set. He just scoops it up. That's as much as we're going to show because, yeah, there's the entire end board. He couldn't crack it. And now we go into game number 3. This is also going to be very short, because you're going to see my end board hand very soon. And he goes with the Tract. He builds his board. Tract into the Lurie. Lurie gets put into the graveyard. And we're going to go into the Requiem. I'm sure you guys have seen enough of Fiendsmith and Ryzeal together. Going to the Necro Equip. Necro Equip, of course, he gets the additional draw because he decided to go into the Lubellion later on, which now fuels his hand. He fuels his hand with a Bystial, the other Bystial monster, which kind of makes me curious of how many Bystial he already had in his hand. So there's the Magnamut. Magnamut is going to add later on during the end phase. Now we get to reset onto the field. The branded Regain onto the back row. And then we're going to once again switch over into Agnum Day with the sequence. And now we have the 5 negate play. Set 1, set 2, pass turn. Not a Ryzeal in sight. Adding Bystial Baldrake into hand. That makes me think he has multiple Bystials. This is not looking too hot. And draw for turn! I love this card. Yep. Yeah, no, I try to build a board. I'm attempting to build a board. He's going off. He gets it back his Magnamut because that's what he does. Because there's a regain. I go into Detonator. And here's the reason why I start losing. It's very simple. Normally, this would have been pretty good, but it's going to be a solemn judgment. He goes down to 4,000 life points for this particular play. And no, there's nothing I can do. He takes it. I have nothing else to push because I need you guys to console me. This was very sad. So this is my hand trap, game 3. This is the entire line. This is all hand traps are in the deck. Yes, it's very excessive, but I need to break the board. And I need to minimize my starter. My opening hand. Here we go. Sword. Node. Sword. Mitsurugi spell. And then I got that as my 5th card. I'm like, yeah, I got a normal summon. But all my search targets are right here for my X. And I have no X in hand, so I can't negate a card along the way. And then worse yet, draw for 6. That's a cursed hand. That's unwinnable. That's it for the first locals of 2025 for me. Also, the first locals of the Supreme Darkness season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. Especially if you want to see more new decks in action and different techs, things that are going up and down in price with Nishi's Market Watch, all that fun stuff. Well, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you all at YCS Orlando. I'll be judging in that one, and you guys can come say hi. All right, take care, and have a good one.